Alright, here we go. Terms of service. This is a contract between you and teaching.com. This is a contract between you and teaching.com, located in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We will refer to ourselves in this contract as either teaching.com, we, or our. You are an individual person, or you are an employee or other agent of an entity on whose behalf you are accepting this contract. The facts you give us must be complete and correct. This contract covers your use of this service and includes any other related services, software, machines, support, content and other media, papers, updates, or upgrades. We refer to these as the service. This contract also covers your use of any additional teaching.com services for which you choose to sign up while this contract is in force. Please note that this contract limits our liability and we do not provide warranties for the service. The contract also limits your remedies. These terms are in Section 9 and 10, and we urge you to read the terms carefully. Number 2. Acceptance of terms. Teaching.com thanks you for trying our services. Teaching.com provides its service to you, subject to the following terms of service, TOS, which may be updated by us from time to time without notice to you. When using particular teaching.com owned or operated services, you and teaching.com shall be subject to any posted guidelines or rules applicable to such services that may be posted from time to time. All such guidelines or rules are hereby incorporated by reference into the TOS. Teaching.com may also offer other services that are governed by different terms of service. Number 3. How and when you may use the service. We provide the service for your personal or business use. You may not use the service in a way that is against the law. You may not rent, lease, sell, license, or otherwise transfer any rights to use the service. You also may not use it in a way that harms our affiliates, resellers, distributors, service providers, suppliers, or us. We may tell you about certain specific harmful uses in a code of conduct or other notice available through the service. We have, however, no duty to do so. You will obey in codes of conduct or other notices we provide. You may start using the service right after you finish the sign-up process or anonymously without an account. No withdrawal rights or cooling off period applies to the service, except if the law requires a cooling off period even when your use of a service starts right away. Number 4. You are responsible for your service account. You are responsible for all activity under your service account. You are responsible for keeping confidential any password for your service account. You must tell us right away about anyone using your account without your consent or any security breach that relates to the service. Number 5. Charge and billing does not apply to some situations. If the service is available without a fee, then this Section 5 will not apply. If you pay us for the service either currently or in the future, then the terms of this Section 5 apply to you. If you pay a company other than teaching.com for the service, then the charges and billing terms are as set forth by the other company. Payment. When you first sign up for the service, you create a license and enter your payment method. You confirm that you are authorized to use the payment method. You authorize us to charge you for the service using your payment method. You authorize us to charge you for any additional Teaching.com services for which you choose to sign up while this contract is in force. You will pay service charges in advance in advance. If your service starts on the 29th, 30th, or 31st day of a month, then your anniversary date will be the first day of the month. We will not charge you again for the service without further permission from you. 5.2 Trial period offers. You may have received a limited time of free service or some other trial period offer. If you do not want to incur charges after this period, you must cancel the service. If you do not cancel your service, then you authorize us to charge your payment method for the service. Note that this does not apply to all free trial offers. 5.3 Prices and price increases. The price for the service excludes all taxes and phone charges unless expressly stated otherwise. To the maximum extent permitted by law, such taxes and charges are your responsibility. Currency exchange settlements are based on your agreement with your payment method provider. We may charge the price of the service from the time to time. We will tell you before any charge. If there is a specific time, length, and price for your service offer, then that price will remain in force for such time. Your renewal of the service after such time, however, will be charged at the new price. If your service is not on a period basis, for example, monthly, with no specific time period, then any price charge will start when we say. If you do not agree to such charges, then you must cancel and stop using the service before the charges are in force. If you cancel your service, then your service ends at the end of your current service term, or if we bill your account on a period basis, at the end of the period in which you cancelled. 5.4 Refund Policies. Okay, I don't know. All new purchases are allowed an unconditional 15-day money-back guarantee. The cost of any returns will be at your expense unless otherwise provided by law. 5.5 Errors. If we make an error on your bill, we will correct it promptly after you tell us and we investigate the charge. You must tell us within 60 days after an error first appears on your bill. You release us from liability and claims of loss resulting from any error that you do not report to us within 60 days after the error first appears on your online statement. If you do not tell us within this time, we will not be required to correct the error. We can correct billing errors at any time. Number 6. Materials you post or provide communications monitoring. You may be able to submit materials for use in connection with the service. We do not claim ownership of the materials you post or otherwise provide to us, including feedback related to the service called a submission. However, by posting or otherwise providing your submission, you are granting to the public permission to use, copy, distribute, display, and modify your submission, each in, each in connection with the service, and to publish your name in connection with your submission. You also give the public permission to grant this permission to other persons. This section only applies to legal content and to the extent that use any publishing of such legal content does not breach the law. We will not pay you for your submission. We may reuse to transfer or may remove your submission at any time. For each submission, you must have all rights necessary for you to grant the permission in this section. We consider your use of the service, including the content of your communications, to be private. We do not routinely monitor your account or disclose information about your communications to anyone. However, to the maximum extent permitted by law, we may monitor your account and may disclose information about you, including contents of communications if we deem it necessary to 1. Conform to legal requirements or respond to legal process. 2. Ensure your compliance with this contract. Or 3. Protect the rights, property, or interests of Teaching.com, its employees, its customers, or the public. Number 7. Software. We may provide you with software to use with the service. If you receive software from us, your use of that software is under the terms of the license that is presented to you for acceptance for that software. If there is no license presented to you, then we grant you the right to use the software only for the authorized use of the service. Copyright and other intellectual property laws and treaties protect such software and content. We reserve all other rights to the software. Teaching.com or its suppliers own the title, copyright, and other intellectual property rights in such software. We may automatically check your We may automatically check your version of the software. We may automatically download upgrades to such software to your computer to update, enhance, and further develop the service. Your license will end on the date your service ends. Your license will also end if we modify the service in a way that no longer supports such software. Promptly after the date your service ends, you shall uninstall such software. We may disable such software after the date the service ends. You will not disassemble, decompile, or reverse engineer any software or any machine included in the service, except and only to the extent that the law expressly permits such activity. Very nice. The software is subject to United States export laws and regulations. You must comply with all domestic and international export laws and regulations that apply to the software. These laws include restrictions on destinations, end users, and end use. Number 8. How we may change the contract. If we change this contract, then we may tell you at least 30 days before the change is enforced. We may tell you of the change by email or online posting. We may also use other ways that we believe will reach you. If you do not agree to such changes, then you must cancel and stop using the service before the changes are enforced. If you do not stop using the force, then your use of the service will continue under the changed contract. Number 9. We make no warranty. We provide the service as is, with all faults and as available. Teaching.com gives no express warranties, guarantees, or conditions. You may have additional consumer rights under your local laws that this contract cannot change. Number 10. Liability limitation. Your exclusive remedy. You can recover from Teaching.com only direct damages up to an amount equal to your service fee for 1 month. You cannot recover any other damages, including consequential, lost profits, special, indirect, or incidental damages. This limitation applies to any matter related to the service and matter related to the content, including code, on third-party internet sites, third-party programs, or third-party conduct. Any matter related to viruses or other disabling features that affect your access to or use of the service. Any matter related to incompatibility between the service and other services, software and hardware. Any matter related to delays or failures you may have in initiating, conducting, or completing any transmissions or transactions in connection with the service in an accurate or timely manner. Any claims for breach of contract, breach of warranty, guarantee or condition, strict liability, negligence, or other torts to the extent permitted by applicable law. It also applies even if this remedy does not fully compensate you for any losses, or fails of its essential purpose, or Teaching.com knew or should have known about the possibility of the damages. Some states do not allow the exclusion or limitation of incidental or consequential damages, so the above limitation or exclusion may not apply to you. They also may not apply to you because your province or country may not allow the exclusion or limitation of incidental, consequential, or other damages. Wow, that was a long one. 11. Changes to the service or cancellation of service. We may change the service or delete features at any time and for any reason. We may cancel or suspend your service at any time. Our cancellation or suspension may be without cause and or without notice. Upon service cancellation, your right to use the service stops immediately. Once the service is cancelled or suspended, any data you have stored on the service may not be retrieved later. Our cancellation of the service will not alter your obligation to pay all charges. If we cancel the service in its entirety without cause, then we will refund to you on a pro rata basis the amount of your payment corresponding to the portion of your service remaining right before such cancellation. Number 12. Your cancellation of service. If you are participating in any trial period offer, you may cancel the service by simply leaving your account unused. After a period of time, we may possibly delete or clear out your account's data without notification to you. Number 13. Choice of law and location for resolving disputes. If this contract is with teaching.com, then claims for breach of this contract will be subject to laws of the state of California, without reference to conflict of laws principles. If this contract is within an teaching.com affiliate, claims for breach of this contract will be subject to the laws of the place of incorporation for such affiliate, without reference to conflict of laws principles. All other claims, including claims regarding consumer protection laws, unfair competition laws, and in tort, will be subject to the laws of your state of the residence in the United States. Or if you reside outside the United States, under the laws of the country to which we direct your service. If this contract is with teaching.com, you consent to the exclusive jurisdiction and venue to state or federal courts in Los Angeles County, California, United States of America, for all dispute relating to the contract or the service. If this contract is with an affiliate, you consent to the exclusive jurisdiction and venue of the courts located in the place of incorporation for such affiliate for all dispute relating to the contract or the service. You cannot revoke this consent. 14. Interpreting the contract. All parts of this contract apply to the maximum extent permitted by law. A court may hold that we cannot enforce a part of this contract as written. If this happens, then we will replace that part with terms that most closely match the intent of the part that we cannot enforce. The rest of this contract will not change. This is the entire contract between us regarding your use of the service. It supersedes any prior contract or statements regarding your use of the service. If you have any confidential obligations related to this service, those obligations remain in force. For example, you may have been a beta tester. The section titles in the contract do not limit the other terms of this contract. 15. Assignment. We may assign this contract in whole or in part, at any time with or without notice to you. You may not assign this contract or any part of it to any other party, and attempt by you to do so is void. Instead, you may cancel your service. The other party may then establish a service account and enter into a contract with us. 16. Claims must be filed within 1 year. Any claim related to this contract or the service must be brought within 1 year. The 1-year period begins on the date when the claim first could be filed. If it is not filed, then that claim is permanently buried. This applies to you and your successors. It also applies to us and our successors and assigns. Your notice. Number 17. Your notices to us. You may notify us by email or postal mail. Your notices to us must be addressed as stated in the consumer support or support area for the service. Our notices to you consent regarding electronic information. This contract is an electronic form. There may be other information regarding the service that the law requires us to send you. We may send you this information in electronic form. You have the right to withdraw this consent, but if you do, we may cancel your service. We may provide required information to you via email at the email address you specified when you signed up for your service. 2. By access to a teaching.com website that will be designated in an email notice sent to you at the time this information is available. Or 3. By access to a teaching.com website that will be generally designed in advance for such purpose. Notices provided to you via email will be deemed given and received on the transmission date of such email. As long as you access and use the service, you will have the necessary software and hardware to receive such notices. If you do not consent to receive any notices electronically, you must stop using the service.